Good afternoon. Today, as always, very interesting information. The web has presented to us some astounding things. It's basically difficult to live without it. Internet-based life causes us to be in contact with friends and family, and spilling stages are a joy. In any case, if you go through in any event an hour of your day on the web, you realize that drop culture is here. Considerably additionally alarming. The development appears to picking up momentum. Scientists are famous for being whimsical. Nonetheless, all we get notification from the popular ones are their astonishing achievements. The web is truly acceptable and uncovering soil, and of late the dim sides of some loved research are re-emerging. Listverse has spared you crafted by looking through the web yourself. Here is a rundown of the best 5 well-known researches that would be #cancelled in the present jackboot-wearing drop culture. 1. Albert Einstein needs no presentation. He is one of only a handful, hardly any researchers, to arrive at a degree of distinction that is comparable to entertainers and performers. It lamentably demonstrates the condition of our general public today, when on-screen characters by and large appreciate more popularity than our most prominent personalities. Einstein is most popular for his commitment to the hypothesis of relativity, yet was really granted the Nobel Prize for his work with quantum material science. The German physicist is a piece of both logical and political history, as his revelations bolstered the advancement of the nuclear bomb. Unquestionably a wonderful human being. Einstein had a clouded side. After his first marriage began to break down, he indicated almost no empathy towards his significant other Milena Maric, choosing to remain together for the children. Einstein composed a rundown of conditions to which his better half ought to agree, with the end goal for him to take her back. The rundown, interpreted from a memoir, reads: A. You will ensure 1. That my garments and clothing are maintained in acceptable control. 2. That I will get my 3 dinners normally in my room. 3. That my room and study are kept flawless, and particularly that my work area is left for my utilization only. B. You will revoke every close-to-home connection with me to the extent that they are not totally essential for social reasons. In particular, you will forego 1. My sitting at home with you. 2. My going out or going with you. C. You will comply with the accompanying focuses in your relations with me. 1. You won't anticipate any closeness from me, nor will you censure me in any capacity. 2. You will quit conversing with me on the off chance that I demand it. 3. You will leave my room or study quickly without fight on the off chance that I demand it. D. You will embrace not to disparage me before our youngsters, either through words or behavior. Yikes. It's difficult to see a science symbol in that light. 2. On the off chance that you have seen the film, A Wonderful Mind, you definitely thoroughly understand the life of John Forbes, Nash Jr. In Rundown, it's the sad story of a splendid American mathematician who was granted the Nobel Prize of Economics for his work on the arithmetic of game hypothesis. The sad part of his story originates from the way that he needed to battle with psychological maladjustment, schizophrenia, for the vast majority of his life. If you need to burrow soil on John Nash, you don't have to dive excessively deep. John Nash was famously hostile to Semitic. In a letter that he wrote in 1967, he made his perspectives very clear: the base of all malevolent, most definitely, life history, are Jews. No compelling reason to state why that announcement was not in the film. 3. You may not recall Linus Pauling in the event that you are not a science fan, however in the event that you are a chemist you unquestionably do. Linus Pauling is basically demigod in the realm of atoms. He spearheaded an utilizing of quantum mechanics to comprehend the concoction bond. Pauling Similar to a great deal of the men on this rundown, Pauling was granted not one, however 2 Nobel Prizes, in 1954, in chemistry for his work with quantum mechanics and the Nobel Peace Prize in 1962 for his endeavors to decrease the job of atomic arms in universal politics. Unbeknownst to the vast majority, Linus Pauling is the explanation nutrient C is accepted to fix forestall influenza. Later in his profession, Pauling got fixated on examining and expending vitamin C. The issue is that the proof that nutrient C has any impact over the interceptability reaction or fighting off the flu infection is delicate, best-case scenario. Despite the fact that there are without a doubt advantages to devouring nutrient C, Linus Pauling was one of the pioneers of spreading counterfeit news. 4. Francis Crick and James Watson, aka Watson and Crick, for the started are 2 American researchers authorized for the revelation of the structure of DNA during the 1950s. The catchphrase here is authorize. At that point, there was a race for the acknowledgement of this logical achievement. The Exploration Network definitely thought about the presence of DNA and its essential structure. The last riddle about DNA was its shape, a 2-fold helix. The 2 researchers shared the Nobel Prize for their achievement. There is something that we purposefully precluded from you, the peruser, up until now. Science is fabricated like a divider. You stack the blocks of information, and without a legitimate establishment the entire thing disintegrates. A British female researcher named Rosalind Franklin established that accurate framework with tests that extraordinarily added to the revelation of the structure of DNA. Mainstream researchers by and large concurs that she ought to be the 3rd laureate. In any case, she was for the most part disregarded by history. Until in the long run passing on of malignant growth likely brought about by her work including X-beams. Notice that lone Crick was remembered for this passage since his accomplice Watson figured out how to exceed him, see underneath. 5. Stephen Hawking is perhaps one of the most recognizable scientists in the world. His contributions to science are too complicated to explain in detail, but, in short, he improved the understanding of how black holes work. Basically, Hawkins postulated that when black holes engulf any type of body or energy, it emits a specific type of radiation. Due to his contributions, that type of radiation is known as Hawkins radiation. To other people, Hawkins is recognized for the long-lasting fight he waged against amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. A condition hinders muscle movement. That includes voluntary muscles control, like chewing, walking, and talking. Known as a hero, there is still some controversy when it comes to his ex-wife Jane Barrell Wild. You see, she abandoned her studies to support Hawkins' career. However, in a twisted turn, when Hawkins was appointed the youngest Fellow of the Royal Society, at 32, he did not mention his wife in his speech. Also, according to her, he demanded to be carried around their house like a king, and shamed her about her religion. Hawking was an atheist. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell. See you soon, and don't be sick.